I bought myself a Fiat Punto 2003 Type 188. It's a 1.2, nothing special, 4-door, needs a bit of work to get through an ATUB. And over the next few episodes, I'm going to be taking you on a journey with me to getting this car to a roadworthy condition. So here goes. Last week, my other half decided that a little Fiat we'd had for 7 years wasn't good enough and decided to put it into a wall and write it off. Well, that's how it looks to me. But actually, no, the weather was pretty bad and she had a little accident and unfortunately our little Fiat Punto, which she'd had for 7 years, is no more. So what did I do? I went out and got another one. And what I'm going to do in this video is we're going to show you that it is perfectly practical and reasonable to get a car like this and make it roadworthy and to get some life out of it. Now, fortunately for me, I have another one of these Fiats for spares. So what I'm going to work on now is getting a complete list together of what this car needs, all the things that are broken, get all the things that are broken off, put them on a pile on the floor down there, and then we're going to work through putting this car and making it as good as it can be. Now, there is damage to the bodywork. We've got a dent in the boot, we've got a dent in the front, we've got scratches, we've got lacquer which is going on the roof. I'm not so concerned about those things. Why did I buy this car? Well, I got it at a cheap enough price and also because it's a very low mileage car. It's only done 140,000 kilometres, which in miles is around about 80,000-ish, I think. And fundamentally, everything that should work, well, not everything. The window doesn't work, the gear knob falls off, and there's a steering light on. I know what the steering light is. That's going to be the steering column on this, which I'm going to have to change, or change the steering angle sensors inside and reprogram everything else. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this car. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get this car up in the air and have a good look underneath it. Up we go. So the things that I've been looking at is things like the brakes, the tyres, the shock absorbers, having a look for any signs of rot underneath this car. I've got to change one of the tyres on it, but let's take it up, shall we, and have a little look. Yeah. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh, straight off oil. Oh, I see. Somebody hasn't done up the oil filter properly. It's leaking oil everywhere. The exhaust is not too bad. The suspension arm's not too bad. The brake disc's a little bit furry. It's got ABS on this. The shock absorbers look like they've been replaced fairly recently. They have. How about that? Someone's replaced the shock absorbers. What else have we got under here? Actually, corrosion-wise, there isn't any. None to speak of. It's still got the bump stops in the back. They're still in good condition. No corrosion on the brake lines. There we go. It's all looking quite good. Nothing to worry about there. One of the first problems we have in this car is that the power steering is not working. I have a feeling I know what it is, but we need to get into the onboard diagnostic socket, which is located here with these two screws. Pull this access cover off, and located just there is the OBD 16-pin D socket. That there is the motor for the steering. I'm hoping it isn't this, but it's not a problem because I have a good second-hand one. Let's check and make sure that everything is good. Maybe it's a fault with the ECU. We just reset the ECU and see what happens. It's also a good opportunity for me to see what other faults lie beneath the surface. So let's get on and get it plugged in. When you're doing the diagnostics, always make sure you've got the ignition on. If you don't, sometimes the diagnostics units won't recognise the ECU or say failure to communicate, so it's important. I see a lot of people using diagnostics, a lot of non-mechanics buying diagnostics equipment and just resetting codes. The thing with the diagnostics is it takes a lot of years to work out what the root cause of a problem is, and it's all very well having a diagnostic and just clearing the codes, but how much of the information do you actually understand? Right. It's now going to do its scan. It's thinking about it. This vehicle might be a little bit too old, so it might not recognise the VIN, so I might have to do it manually. Oh, no, there we go. So we've got to do it manually on this one. Skip. Okay. Diagnose. Let's go down to, where are we? Fiat. Fix it again, Tony. There we go. Manually search. Fiat. This is a Fiat Punto. It's type 188 on this. So we go down to here, Panda, Proton, Punto. There we go. Oh, there we go, 188 just there. Health report, let's go on the health report. Shall we see what it brings up in the diagnostics? So the ignition is on. This is the first for me. I don't even know what is stored on here. There could be all manner of things. I'm hoping there's not things like lambda sensors, catalytic converter efficiency, and things like that. That's if it wants to talk to it. 5 minutes later. So first thing it's come up with, airbag not configured. The Bosch ABS, scanning the Bosch ABS. What have we got? Not configured. Wasn't that weird? Why is it not configured? Going for just standard OBD2 protocol, and already I'm seeing DTCs in this ECU for, oh dear. No, what's he going to say? Read fault codes. What have we got? Wants to ask more information. Fiat, there we go. We're back in Fiat. Fuel pump primary circuit, cylinder 2 misfire, engine coolant circuit, air compressor relay. Fuel pump relay, primary circuit, currents. Well, I think I'm just going to clear those and see what comes back. That's the best method for these. Let's clear fault codes. Yes. Clearing the fault codes. DTCs have been cleared. Normally I would say to you just store the fault codes, write them down, but on this it stores it so I can go back through it. If you've got faults, the best thing to do is to clear the fault codes and see what comes back, because sometimes you'll find this historic fault code stored on there, or it could be things like low voltage and a battery that's running flat. It's just triggered little warnings and things. So I tend to record all the faults that are listed, and then we clear and start again, run the car, do a couple of miles in the car, see what faults come back, and then you can establish what your permanent faults are. Right, so we've gone through the ECU. There was faults in there, historic faults. One was a fuel pump circuit. We're going to keep an eye on that. It did say historical fault. I don't detect a problem with there. I'm going to stick a gauge on the fuel side, and we'll check the fuel pressure to make sure there's not an issue with the fuel pump. That's something we'll do because it's on the diagnostics, and I'll show you how to do that in a little while. So we've cleared all the faults. We've gone through the ABS. The ABS showed a fault on the pump side, low voltage detected. The car's got a new battery in it, so I think that the issue with a lot of this, with the airbags, the ABS and everything else, was to do with historic fault, which the ECU stored as a low voltage fault. And low voltage can trigger off a whole lot of other things as well, a lot of other problems, including SRS, SAS, traction control, and all the S for ESP, extrasensory perception. You can see here the reason that the car had so many faults and wasn't turning off is because somebody has done a wonderful job there with industry approved masking tape. Look at that, it's beautiful. I've now got to go through all this wiring and put the original socket back on. I think I might just put an original radio back in it, because the radio that's in there is not that great anyway, and it's got Madonna Isla Bonita loaded into it, which I cannot stand Madonna. The next job is, you can see here the window is not working, going up and down, so I'm going to have to remove that door card, and I've also got to remove this door card here because the door handle on the outside is not going back down. Let's get the door cards off. Something else I want to show you as well before I forget, move on to the door cards, is when we turn the lights on, you can see there's an orange light there. That's indicating there's a fault. Come with me. We know what this fault is. This fault is because these lights here are LED. They have a higher resistance than the standard bulbs, or a lower resistance, depends on which way they're set up. And what that does is that tells the ECU that there's a light out. Because it's not detecting the correct resistance, it's saying to the onboard computer, hey, there's a light out, put the lamp on. There's not a problem with that. On the test, they'll look at that and go, and they'll look around, and I'll just say to them, listen, it's because it's got the LED bulbs in the front, and I'll go, psh. Let's get the door cards off. time is getting on. We need to get this done and sorted. You see what I mean about the roof? It's not a problem. We can do something with that. I might actually vinyl wrap it and put some white on it or something else. Might even put some racing stripes on it or demolition derby stickers. The possibilities are endless. We get this on. Let's get this out. Come on. Little screw. Let's stick those screws on the floor there. I can't wait to see what other surprises are behind this door. Oh, let's get that off as well. Excuse the dodgy camera work. I need a camera assistant. Anybody that wants to work for free to help me post content, send me a message. Ooh, a little tweeter in there. Right, we're going to have to work on that. I'm going to need to do 2 hands on this bit. So, what I might have to do is to... I've got to get these screws out here. I've got another screw in there to get. Look at that speaker, isn't that? Oh, nice. I've got to get more screws out from here and everything else. And once we get the door cover off, we will resume and I'll show you how I'm going to diagnose what the issue is. All right, so we've got the door card off. I didn't want to sort of video the whole process of doing that because it's laborious and it's boring to watch. But I've located the socket here for the window motor, which is this window regulator here. It runs to the top there. It's just a simple cable neck mechanism. Sometimes these get dry, the pulleys at the bottom seize up and these go doing, and then the window drops down to the bottom and smashes, or the clip on the bottom breaks. So here I have another one. What we're going to do is we're going to plug this regulator into that socket and see if it goes up and down. If it does, then quite simple, I'm just going to change over the regulator for the window and happy days. Right, so we found the issue with the motor not whirring. It was to do with the fuse had blown and somebody had tried to put a bit of Kit Kat wrapper in there and it didn't work. But when we got it working, we found that the window wasn't going up and down. And the reason being is because the worm drive has just completely eaten all of this plastic here. So we have a donor one. We are going to stick this window regulator in and see if it works, basically. Otherwise, we're just otherwise. So we can't continue the window at the moment because I need to go and get another window regulator. That's not a problem. I know exactly where there's another one. In fact, I have one in stock. So I decided we're going to carry on with a few other bits and pieces. Actually, this little car's not too bad. I thought it'd be a bit of a disaster, but... So what we're doing right now is we are polishing the old headlights here. They were all foggy. A bit of fine cutting compound on there and the old machine here. And we're working on this side. You can see the difference. So we're going to crack on, polish those headlights, get those done. I've got some stuff to take off the back because I need to replace the broken tail light. I'm also going to try and get as much of the dent out in the boot as possible and on the front. And just give it a little bit of a general tidy, a bit of a clean, and see how we get on. Do a little service in the engine as well. I don't need to worry about the water pump and cam belt because it has literally just been done. But I am, for my own peace of mind, going to take the cover off and make sure that the belt has been tensioned correctly, and that the time marks are all lined up, etc. I don't doubt there's any issue, but just for my own peace of mind, I'm going to sort out the oil leak in the bottle, which is coming from the oil filter, so we're going to change the oil filter. I'm also going to drop the coolant out. I know it's just been done, but I want to put my own coolant in there so I know that I've got the full protection I need, and that is it. Service the brakes, going to take the front brake pads out, the calipers, clean them up because they're a bit tight in there, get the brakes a bit sharper. Going to take the rear wheels off as well and have a look and make sure that the rear brakes are not contaminated with oil and make sure everything's all good in there. I just want it in my mind so that I know every square inch of this car and I know what is deteriorating and how much, and so that in the future I can work out what sort of repairs and what schedule I need to do on this car to keep it 100% for the road. So I'm going to crack on, I'm going to polish the headlights, we'll show you the difference when they're both done, and we're going to work on getting some dents out, and then after that I'm going to go through the inside, give it a nice old clean. Right, so today I've spent a few hours on this little Punto. There's still a lot more things to do on it, but I have to admit, I'm sorry I didn't video it all, but we've got the door regulator to do, the window regulator, which I've got a new one indoors for that. I've got the tyre to sort out on it. You can see here that I've managed to get some of the dent out, and it's not so bad. Listen, with this car, all I'm trying to do to it is to get it so that it is safe to drive. it's legal, and it's going to see us through and be a good little workhorse for a little while. The interior, we've given it a bit of a clean inside, a little bit of a shampoo on the seats, still got another radio to put in there, repaired the broken gear knob, and it's actually not too bad. For the money I paid for it, yeah, it was too expensive considering I used to buy these back in the UK for 50 quid and sell them for 300. It's a lot of money we paid for it, but it's a car I know. I've just found out from the owner as well, because I said, why is there water, why is there oil in the radiator bottle? He said, because the head gasket was done on it 6 weeks ago, the head gasket went. So that explains that. And a bit of further probing around, I can see that clearly the head gasket's been done because there's loads of new gaskets around there. So that's another thing that was on my mind, a bit of a concern that I don't have to worry about anymore. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I love all the videos. It's like, I follow the Matt Armstrongs, I follow the Yorkshire car registration, I follow, the Cletus McFarland and all that. I follow the car shows, I like the car shows, but no one seems to do anything of just like, here's an ordinary day-to-day car, we're just going to get this one tied up, sort it out, get it in a row, because a lot of you don't have supercar money, a lot of you have the sort of same money that I have at the moment, because things are difficult, because the governments are taxing us a lot for things at the moment. Everything seems to be going up double, so we have less money. So what I wanted to do was just to show you that you can take a cheap car and you can make it your own, you can make it nice and tidy, you can get it road legal. And today, most of the stuff that I've done, in fact, everything I've done in this car has only cost me time. It's not cost me any materials so far. The window regulator, I've got a second-hand one, so tomorrow we'll go through that, we'll fit the window regulator in. I'll do a little video of that. Maybe I'll get a little tripod set up and you can watch me fit the window regulator in. Little jobs that you can do at home to save yourself an hour and a half labour or an hour's labour from a garage. For a job like this, most garages on this car will take about 30 minutes, but some garages have a minimum labour charge, which is an hour's labour. Most of you at home probably have a toolkit that is able to do this. It's a Phillips toolkit, M10 socket, and an M5 Allen key. Most of us have those in our toolkit at home. So keep on watching. We're going to do the next bit. Going to work out what to do with the roof, whether we put some white vinyl wrap on it or whether I sand it down and just put a clear coat of lacquer on it, and maybe we put some racing stripes down it, and I don't know, maybe we do something with the alloys. What do you reckon? Do you reckon we should keep the alloys that colour, or do you think I should get them powder coated in black? What do you think? Write in the comments below. I'm going to edit this video today. Hopefully it'll go up on YouTube. You can see what we're up to. Thank you for watching. Next episode, window regulator. We'll have a bit of fun and we'll show you around the engine bay and a few other little maintenance tips and tricks on these little cars. No one's got these cars really, but hey-ho, trying to keep you entertained.